is the place where the football champions of Michigan will be crowned. Right here on Fox Sports Net. Next. It may be cold and damp outside the Pontiac Silverdome, but inside the humidity is rising in anticipation of the Division 7 state championship. Mendon has been here before. The Hornets have won crowns 2 of the last 3 years. Raider fans are ecstatic about their second ever trip to Pontiac. They are living a dream, but it needs 48 minutes for it to fully come true. It's Decatur and Mendon in the Division 7 state championship tilt, and it's only here on Fox Sports Net. Hi, everybody. Alongside my partner, Rob Rubik, my name is Matt Shepard. Glad you're back with us. And championship experience usually goes a long way in this type of ball game and in this type of atmosphere. And Rob, I don't know if there's any team in the field who has as much expertise as this Mendon ball club.
Oh, no, this is their third appearance in the past 4 years, and one of the main reasons is running back number 23, Jared Dell, a tough two-way starter. Jared gaining over 1,300 yards, Matt, but when he's not running the ball, he's opening up holes. He's an outstanding blocker. Now, on the defense side of the ball, he's a linebacker. He's the glue that holds this defense together.
A state record 52 starts in his high school career. Now, if you're one of those people at home who believe defense wins championships, then this Decatur Raider ball club is your kind of team, aren't they?
Oh, it's an outstanding defense, Matt. This is a defense it's difficult to get points on. Yeah. And it's led by the 2 inside linebackers, Lee Mosier and Josh Nicholson. 26 tackles in the semis between them. They're tough inside, Matt. It's tough to run inside. And then when you try to go outside, they push you to the perimeter. They have tremendous speed. So it's tough to run the ball anywhere on them. They're going to force you into the passing game.
How good are they? They give up just 2.5 points per game during the regular season, 6 points per game in the playoffs. Let's welcome in the third member of our broadcast team today, Mickey York. Hi, Mick.
Hey, Matt, how are you? Thanks a lot. You know, Mendon 7 state titles is second only to Farmington Hills Harrison among public schools. One of the reasons for their prolonged success is their junior high program. Mendon was the first team in its conference to institute its junior high program, and the kids there can't wait to be a part of it. In fact, if you grow up in or around Mendon, you don't dream of being like Joey Harrington or Brett Favre. You dream of growing up to be like one of your heroes. Heroes like Mendon quarterback Eric Ettinger. Matt?
Not a bad role model. Similar to what you are to me, Mickey York. 2 teams met in the playoffs a couple of years ago, and the Hornets stung Decatur. Can Raider pride issue a payback on the biggest day in school history? We will soon find out. The Division 7 starting lineups in the kickoff is next on Fox Sports Net.
Think about a university. A university with more than 170 degree programs. Think about a university where professors know your name.
And the Pistons are making a statement in the East, but All-Star Tracy McGrady and the Magic believe
covering the entire world of extreme sports, nightly.
The best damn sports show, period. Hollywood's
By Bell Tire, nobody comes close. Nobody's closer. By Gardner White, we're known by the money you keep. And by Wallside Windows, most preferred, most referred. The best time of the year, Saturday morning, Division 7 state championship, the Mendon Hornets on their way out to the Silverdome carpet, where they are very used to playing. Third time in the last 4 years that John Schwartz has led this club to this type of stage. The Raiders were here in '97, but fell to Ravenna in the championship showdown. The Raiders, a club that come in unbeaten in 13 games, 7-0 out of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Mendon, in the meantime, 11-1 overall, 6-1, tied for first in the St. Joseph Valley Conference. Time for our game plan. How does Mendon win? How does Decatur get their first ever championship, Rob Rubik?
Well, Mendon's got to get it done with a two-way QB. That's Eric Ettinger. Not only is he the quarterback on offense and the catalyst, Matt, but in the secondary, he has to lead this Mendon defense against the pass. And you know what, dude? You got to get Adele. And we're talking about Jared Dell, and that's what Mendon has to do. They got to get him going on the offensive side of the ball as well as the defense. We look at the Raiders. They need a dominating D, and that's what they've been the entire season, Matt. They've stuffed people, 7 shutouts. It's tough to move the ball against them, and then they have to balance the scales on offense. Use the run, use the pass, mix it up a little bit.
I can tell you something, dude. Mendon is glad they've got their Dell, that's for sure. Rob's game plan brought to you by Gardner White Furniture. We're known by the money you keep. Decatur will kick off, and Mendon will go on the attack. Mendon with Eric Ettinger, who wears number 9 in white, and Mark Batten, who wears number 32 in the same uniform. Back deep to receive the kick from Michael Northrup. The Division 7 championship is underway. Batten from his own 14. Looking for a gate and stumble to the 30. Eric Ettinger, the quarterback of this Mendon ball club, who threw a 39-yard touchdown pass in the win over DePorus last week. The kid completes 55% of his passes. The offensive line did a great job against DePorus. They averaged a slim 214 pounds. Dell is the man, a quiet leader. First guy to start both ways on this club as a freshman. Ettinger leading the Hornets to the line of scrimmage. An offense that averages 34.5 points per game. A little trickery right out of the gate. Downfield looking for Trevor Zinmaster, incomplete. Michael Northrup on the coverage. His defensive line led by Paul Leffler, who had 8 tackles against Norway last week. Mosier and Nicholson as fine of linebackers as you'll find. Northrup had 3 tackles against Norway and is one of the senior veterans in that defensive backfield. Raiders have pitched 7 shutouts on defense this year, including during the regular campaign 3 in a row at one point. On a 2nd and 10, Ettinger wants to throw. The lefty fires and completes it to Andy Mox, who stumbles forward into Decatur territory. Mox, a team best 24 yards per catch. That one was good for 22.
And this is a road out action you're going to see here by Eric Ettinger. And he's going to get a fake the ball, get outside here. He's going to be, Moats is going to slide in, slide back out. Actually, Moats comes from the weak side tight end, my mistake. And he drags all the way across the field, Matt. And a good job at Ettinger. And you like his poise, not just experience. He's been here before. He understands what pressure is. He knows how to stay away from it.
Now on a 1st and 10 for Ettinger. First give to Dell. Big hole, right side. Looking for more daylight. Busts his way to the 30-yard line. Northrup in on the tackle. Actually, that's Mark Batten, number 32. An 18-yard gainer.
They're going to see a little trap block inside, pulling to the left guard, pulling, and Batten does a good job. Now, this is only a sophomore, Matt. He was able to get a lot of experience last year at the Dome as a true freshman, getting here and playing very well, putting up some good numbers. And he's had a tremendous season, and Jared Dell in front of him, that doesn't usually hurt either. He
comes out, Kyle Rice is in, and now Jared Dell takes over as the tailback on a 1st and 10 after back-to-back first downs. Rice on a little trap, stumbles for a 1-yard loss. Michael Burns in on the tackle, the 5'10", 157-pound senior.
It's going to be interesting to see how this Raider defense reacts right now. Mendon's taking the opening kickoff and moved the ball down the field. This is something, when you get 7 shutouts, Matt, you don't see a lot. A lot of teams aren't moving the ball on you. How are they going to handle this change? Are they going to step up? Someone going to make a play? You're going to see Allison call Nicholson's name, or is it going to be Mosier who's going to make something happen here?
Burns in Decatur has only given up 6 points in the first quarter all year long. Ettinger sends Zinmaster in motion. Inside handoff. Batten shifting his way past the 25 to the 24. Decatur led by Joe Groh. 23 years at Decatur. 24 years in the sport of football. Over 177 wins in his career. 143 at Decatur. Watching his defense try and hold the Hornets at bay on a 3rd down and 3 from the Decatur 24 on the opening drive of the football game. Batten is going nowhere. Again, Michael Burns dragging him down from behind.
And that's just beating your man on the backside. Michael Burns, defensive tackle, is going to beat him right off the snap. Going to get pressure into the backfield, Matt. And he didn't chase the play down from the front side. They did a pretty good job trapping at the point. But you can see right here, he gets inside the other trap block, the tackle. When you can do that and get into the backfield, you can create havoc.
Rob, this is a 4th down and 5 situation now for the Hornets. On their opening drive from the 25. Play action for Edinger. He's a lefty, getting pressure, dumps it off, and incomplete to Dell. He juggled it twice. The pass a little bit behind him on his right hip, and then Paul Loeffler knocked it away.
Well, it didn't take long for the Decatur faithful to get into the game. Good pressure on Edinger, and that's what you're going to have to do. If you give Eric Edinger time to set up, he's going to find someone open. He throws a little bit behind Jared Dell, but he takes a shot by big Paul Loeffler, 6'3", 230 pounds.
Edinger remains in the ball game. Rarely will he ever see the sidelines. He stays in as a defensive back. There's Joe Grove for Decatur, anxiously watching his offense go to work now. On a pitch back, this is Corey Sabo. He picks up 6 on his first carry in a state championship game. A lot of Raider pride here displayed in the brown and gold. Anthony Davis in on the tackle for Mendon. Andy Hall, the quarterback for Decatur. Very good baseball prospect, very solid athlete. Has only thrown 7 passes all season long, Rob Rubik. This is a 2nd down and 3. This will be his 8th. He will launch downfield. He will short arm it, and they'll call a late flag on Eric Edinger. Now, this will be pass interference, no doubt. But I don't know if that ball was catchable. Ralph Locke, our referee.
Ineligible downfield, offense, interference, defense, offsetting.
The offensive line that will soon block for Andy Hall, who, as we mentioned, this year, 61%. The offensive line averaging 6'1", 207 pounds. His running back Corey Sabo over 1,400 yards on the ground. Paul Loeffler, the big tight end, 6'3", 240, and a senior.
And you watch when Loeffler lines up next to Andrew Gray on the left side, that's where they like to go, and that's exactly what they did that play, Matt. That's the horse. When you talk to Coach Groh, all he could talk about is 79, Andy Gray. What a job he's done this year at opening up holes, and you put those 2 wide bodies together, they're tough to stop.
Here's Mendon's defense up front. They average 171 pounds, led by Mike McQuaig, who has 79 tackles. Chris Downs just made that tackle. And the defensive backfield, led by Eric Edinger's team high 7 interceptions on the year. A 3rd down and 1 for Decatur on their opening offensive possession. Out of the tee, stumbling to the left and moving the chains is number 20, Kevin Majewski.
You see what's happening with the Mendon defense, Matt. They don't really respect the pass. They're walking everyone up. The secondary's coming up, and this is something John Schwartz is game plan for, knowing that this is a predominant team in Decatur. The safeties, the corners, everyone starts cheating up in certain formation. Now, as Decatur comes out in a spread formation, they loosen up.
Schwartz with 6 titles at Mendon of the 7. Another handoff. Sabo finds a hole, and he busts it to the outside. Now it's a track meet. Stumbling to the 30, outmaneuvering Edinger, still on his feet inside the 15.
Coming right at you. Corey Sabo's going to take the handoff. Good luck. Well, watch him get outside. That's what you want to do. When you get through the initial seam, get to the outside. There's fewer defenders. And right there at the point of attack, it was Cade Klein. Sometimes the best blocks you make are ones you don't make. If he tries to make that block, that's going to be a push in the back. Cade Klein defers, lets the defender go. Big gain for the Raiders.
Chris Downs had to hustle back to make the tackle. Otherwise, Sabo's 47-yarder would have been 15 yards more than that. Now he'll try it again. Boy, he's not gassed at all. 5 different Hornets all over him. Downs leading the way.
When you're playing the defensive line, boy, it's nice to be 230 pounds. But sometimes you don't have that privilege, or I should say, you know, that type of advantage. Look at Anthony Sheftick, 5'9", 165. He's number 2 right here. You're going to see him. And he just got great penetration and blew up that last play. Size is nice, but quickness can definitely be an asset, too.
2nd down and 11 from the 16. Hall will throw on a half roll. Has his tight end Leffler at the 7.
I like what I see in Andy Hall. Play action to left. He's going to roll to the right. He's dragging Leffler. The tight end comes all the way across the field. That's a well-executed play, Matt. The coverage was there, but the ball was perfectly thrown. Leffler makes a good catch. They moved it, getting close to moving a change. That's a big play on a 2nd and long. Now they're faced with a 3rd and 2.
Talked about Leffler's ability and his size. There's no question Joe Groh believes he can play at the next level. Groh in his 23 seasons has seen a lot of good players come through. Sabo has the 1st down and a touchdown.
They're going to run sprint draw. Hall, that means he attacks Sabo in the backfield, gives him the ball. It looks like it could be a boot. He just gives it Sabo underneath. Good interior line block and creates the hole, Matt, and Sabo does the rest. And he's pretty much the workhorse in that drive.
Michael Northrup on to add the extra point. 22 of 28 on the year. Good snap, hold, and the kick is no good. But Corey Sabo, with his 22nd rushing touchdown of the season, allows the Raiders to draw first blood on this magical Saturday.
I'm an official because I can be part of the game, not just a spectator. I'm involved.
I'm a mentor to the kids so they learn the game
and respect the game. I've enhanced my leadership skills.
I'm more disciplined.
And I've learned to be fair-minded in tough situations. Officiating isn't easy, and it's certainly not for everyone.
But it could be for you.
Call this number below and find out how you can become a sports official in your community.
Make the call!
Wear your school colors and celebrate homecoming week with the Pistons. The first 10,000 fans get a Ben Wallace talking bobblehead Saturday at 7:30. Then Monday at 7:30, the first 4,000 get a Cliff Robinson Celebraduck. Plus, buy one ticket, get one free for either game.
6-0 Decatur on top. Get your pro football fix a day early on the NFL Show, the most unpredictable pregame show on TV, with Michael Irvin, Tony Siragusa, and comedian Tommy Davidson. Pregame shows will never be the same. The NFL Show tonight at 10:30, only here on Fox Sports Network. An impressive drive capped off by Corey Sabo, 7-yard touchdown run, 7 plays, 75 yards in a shade under 3 minutes for the Raiders, who lead it 6-0. Now Mark Batten from his own 11 tries to answer for the Hornets, looking for a seam, found one for a minute, then it closed at the 33.
Let's see how Mendon handles this sudden change. This is not a team that's used to being behind very often in the course of the year, Matt. And Decatur did a nice job getting the ball, driving down the field, putting the first 6 points on the board. Coach Schwartz has always had a way of getting his team to handle adversity, handle that type of sudden change. Let's see how they do in this drive. This is an important drive for them to try to establish field position again.
Ettinger, who the Mendon coaching staff feels can play at the Division II level. As a quarterback, will try and engineer a scoring drive here. Didn't get off to a good start because Jared Dell was stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Ettinger is a guy who's not afraid to tuck it and run, has a solid arm, and very knowledgeable about the game of football.
He also has big play capability, and that's what you want from your quarterback. It's nice to be able to have a quarterback control, run the offense, dink and dunk, but you also have to be able to make that big play, and he presents that problem to a defense.
A team best 25 touchdowns on the season, now staring at a 2nd down and 9. Option to the wide side. Batten has the pitch and the corner, and he's into territory for Decatur to the 42-yard line on a flag on the play. Lee Mosier had to make the tackle.
And this play is made by Eric Ettinger coming down the line of scrimmage. Watch how he's going to hang on to the ball at the last minute, kick it out, a good pitch. Batten does the rest. It's going to come back. We have a holding call wide, but it should be a spot foul. So they're going to mark it after about 11 yards down the field, so they'll bring up about a second down and 1. Or second down and 9, rather.
Ralph Locke, our referee, giving us the call.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Dennis Kroll, our umpire, Edward Steenbergen, our head linesman, Bob Rodenhouse, the line judge, and Robert Navarro, the back judge.
That's a message play, Matt. You have to be able to attack the perimeter. That time they did. It may open it up inside a little bit more. Decatur has to be cognizant of the outside game.
Ettinger with Bell and Batten behind him. Batten has the ball and gets the first down.
Well, just how passing the ball sets up the run. Running outside sets up the inside run. And we saw that happen with Mendon running the option the first play, then coming back with the lead play inside. And Batten's just going to follow his big fullback, Jared Dell, number 23. Let's see, nice block, burying the linebacker that time. That's good football. That's well executed by the Mendon Hornets.
That block by Dell gave Batten an extra 6 yards. He's averaging over 6 per touch on a 1st and 10. Batten again. Another hole and close to another first down.
Well, coming into the game, Mendon knew they're going to have to contend with the 2 outstanding linebackers, Lee Mosier, Josh Nicholson. Let's watch Jared Dell, the fullback. Good, nice isolation. He's going to take on Mosier. Boom! Stalemates him. Batten does the rest. That's good football, man. That's what you get from a 4-year starter. Would say 52 starts in high school football. Unbelievable. That's just
you got to play a lot of playoff games.
One thing, you got to be healthy and a good player. 2, you better be in a pretty good football program because you're in the playoffs deep to get that many games.
Been starting since he was a freshman. Now the up back in Mendon's offense on a 2nd down and short. Batten again. Hit the line of scrimmage, might have gotten the first down, needed to get just a shade inside the Decatur 45. Paul Leffler in on the tackle.
The Decatur defense, once again, even though they're bending a little bit, they're not going to break. This is a type of defense we know, Matt, researching coming in. The philosophy of this whole defense is a defense that they're going to give up some plays, but ultimately they're going to shut you down. And you look at Mendon, what they have planned. They outscored the opponents 107-7, Matt. That's unbelievable. Right now, Decatur's up 6-0, so let's see if this defense can rise once again.
So just the 13th point given up all season long by that Mendon defense. On a quarterback sneak on a 3rd and short, and they'll move the chains again.
Looking at the season these 2 teams had, man, we were both talking earlier. Isn't it kind of strange that they don't play each other? You look at the geographic location, only about 40 to 45 miles
about 35
apart.
to 40, yeah.
Both teams, both coaches are very familiar with the other team, but yet they're in separate conferences and they don't play.
Nice little rivalry between the 2 communities, starting to build a little bit. 1st and 10 as the momentum builds for the Hornets because of Mark Batten, who busts free for 6 more. This Decatur offense averages just giving up 87 yards per game, and Mark Batten and that Mendon offensive line, along with Jared Dell, taking care of business early on here.
Well, let's watch McQuaid right here. McQuaid's going to do the kick out. Dell comes up underneath, a lead block. And watch, now that's what you want from a running back. Patience. Yeah. He follows his guard on the trap block, then he gets behind his fullback. He uses all the pieces in the puzzle for success.
Senior leadership displayed by Mike McQuaid. Now a 2nd down and 4. Batten again has the first down as he lunges for the 30.
Gouging them, Matt. They're gouging them inside right now. They're just coming
goring them inside.
Yeah, they are. 23. Jared Dell did a nice job. The guards are pulling. Mark Batten has some openings. Here's the trap block. This time you got Tim Friel pulling the other guard. Dell, the linebacker, actually reads it too slow for him to get the lead block. Everything developed too slow. So right now they got Mosier and Nicholson on their heels a little bit inside, and they knew they're going to have to win that battle. Dell versus the 2 inside linebackers. That matchup, Matt, they're going to have a chance to win today.
Decatur wants to call a timeout with 1:25 to go in the opening quarter of the Division 7 state championship. Mark Batten and the Hornets trail by 6, but are on the move.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs. Now, the pig in the straw house was not as careless as some may think. Today, we'd call him budget conscious. So, while the other 2 pigs were out spending big bucks on movies, he enjoyed big hit movies and original series on his premium channel package from Dish Network. By the time the wolf came around, this little pig had used the money he saved for something really important: an electric fence. You'll be shocked by the savings when you add Showtime Stars, HBO, or Cinemax. Call 1-800-333-DISH today.
When you have money problems, just going to the mailbox can be frightening. It's the same when the phone rings. You know it's another creditor. I thought bankruptcy was the only way out. And then I called Ameridebt.
Every day, Ameridebt helps more people with money problems. We're a nonprofit organization offering free consultations to consumers seeking to eliminate their debt.
Now my balances are dropping, and I only have one small monthly payment.
Call this number regardless of your situation. Ameridebt, helping America get out of debt.
Late in the first quarter, Decatur on top 6-0, but the Hornets are buzzing a little bit on the drive with the football. Mickey York joins us now from the sidelines. Mick?
Yeah, Matt, Decatur center Michael Layton getting a little work on his toe here, his left toe. They're working on rewrapping a turf toe. He expects to be back in the ball game. They say he'll be just fine, or if Decatur gets back the ball, he'll run in before they get the tape job done. But he'll be just fine, Matt.
That's good news for Raider fans. The 5'11", 174-pound senior, instrumental in Joe Groh's offensive scheming. Of course, the center, always important, Rob Rubick. He makes those calls at the offensive line.
He makes the line calls at the line of scrimmage, let the other linemen know what's going on, what type of blocking scheme they have. He also has to get the ball back to the quarterback when each play starts.
8th play of the drive, upcoming for Eric Edinger and the Mendon Hornets. Edinger on a keeper. Get the kick out block. Had the edge for a moment. Ran out of bounds at about the 24.
That's one more play in the arsenal of Mendon. The fullback trap, this whole offense is predicated with the fullback trap, the counter trade power, which we've seen quite a bit with Batten putting up some good yards. But the last play is the option quarterback duck, Coach Schwartz calls that, where they're going to fake that power play. He's going to keep it and take it outside. And that's the first time we've seen that play, and they had success, 7 yards.
Edinger with 10 touchdowns on the ground, 17 through the air. That includes the playoffs. You saw the graphic. Pretty good average anytime he keeps the ball. Good average for Jared Dillard, who busts outside with a stiff arm to the 10, and he will score.
Well, we've seen the ability of Jared Dell in the blocking game. That time we got an opportunity to watch how he can run the ball with some pretty good quickness. And this play is also blocked pretty well. Even though he's not blocking for himself, he does a good job following his blocks. McQuaig, 53, kick-out block. Inside, he gets a lead block also. Then he takes it to the outside. We talk about, Matt, when you run the ball, you take it inside, then you take it back to the outside, and down the field, Noah Cook picks up a nice block also. All running backs are coached, Matt. You get through the seam and then bounce outside.
He is also the long snapper on this football team. His backfield teammate Mark Batten connects on the extra point. Number 23 squirts 24 yards for the go-ahead touchdown.
Well, that time they lined him up at the tailback position. But right down the field late, you can see number 24 come into the picture right there. Kick-out block, Matt. That's why you work all the time. That's why you're receivers. They can't just be receivers when the ball is coming to them, run and catch it. When the ball is not coming in the running game, you have to block downfield and work hard. And Coach Schwartz obviously preaches that pretty well because his team, they work it to the tee.
Well-sustained drive caps off that 9-play, 64-yard drive that chewed up better than 4.5 minutes of the Silverdome clock to give Mendon a 7-6 lead. So that extra point missed by the Raiders looming sort of large right now.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the NASCAR Young Guns were born to make racing more exciting. The Daytona 500 returns this February only on Fox.
Meet Evan, a bachelor who earns $19,000 a year.
Great hair, great eyes, great body.
And meet the 20 women who are about to compete for his heart. Why? They think he's worth $50 million. Now, who would ever give him that idea? Can true love survive a little $50 million lie? Joe Millionaire, a new reality series with a twist.
It's a dream come true.
That's really twisted. Coming next month to Fox.
Down toward the end of the first quarter, the first of 4 games at the championship level for you here on Fox Sports Net on this Saturday. Andy Hall pitching back. Corey Sabo couldn't find much running room. We apologize for the audio technical difficulties. Glad you've stayed with us. Pictures are there for you. Corey Sabo, the Raiders tailback, who has scored on a 7-yard touchdown run, only to be equaled by Jared Dell's 24-yard touchdown run. And with the Hornets' extra point, they lead it by a point with 35 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Andy Hall will throw. Not afraid to. He's thrown for over 1,500 yards this year. Great catch by Sabo, and he stayed inbounds.
Well, you're going to see right here. We're going to go down here. They're going to bring Sabo back underneath. I'm trying to draw on and run here a little bit. But look at that. That is a well-thrown ball. What a catch, Matt.
Great catch.
You know, for a team that we know pretty much lives by the run, although they are capable of throwing the ball if they need to. The problem with this team is, Matt, they haven't given up any points, so they've been ahead most of the year, and they haven't been forced to pass the ball. But this is also a team that you can see has practice in the passing game. And I would imagine they practiced a lot this week and gave it more attention, knowing they're playing a tough Mendon defense.
Sabo's showing some good hands.
Well, he leaks out of the backfield from the offset fullback position. Look at this. Look how he looks it in. That's a tremendous catch.
Sure is. Great concentration. Yeah, we talked about throwing when they had to. Last week, Andy Hall, as we mentioned, only 7 times in the game against Norway, but did throw a touchdown on the year, coming in 90 of 148 for over 1,500 yards and 15 scores for the Raiders, who will let the clock wind down and just shift ends. Sabo got the Raiders on the board first with a 7-yard touchdown run. Joe Groh's lead didn't last long because Mark Batten and the Hornets had an answer for Corey Sabo. It's 7-6. Mendon on top after 1 at the Dome.
Are you one of the million?
Players clash in this conference battle. Oh my! The electrifying Ben Wallace and the Pistons are making a statement in the East, but All-Star Tracy McGrady and the Magic believe this is their year.
Oh, you got to love it!
Prepare to take flight. The league's elite play here. Pistons Magic, Wednesday at 1:30 on Fox Sports Net.
ACC basketball. The nation's premier programs square off in a power-packed doubleheader. First, Cincinnati throws down with dominating big man Chris Hobbs and the Clemson Tigers. Then Seminole Country comes alive as North Carolina's fabulous freshmen battle Florida State. ACC Sunday Night Hoops, today on Fox Sports Net.
This is Just the start. Our coverage of the MHSAA Finals continues today at 1 with the Division I title game featuring East Kentwood taking on Detroit Catholic Central. That's today at 1, only here on Fox Sports Net. That should be a good one too, shouldn't it, Ron?
Yeah, that's the marquee matchup of the weekend, Matt. Really two diverse type of offense. CC likes the power game and play action. East Kentwood, they're going to run a straight tee, and it's something people have never seen from a Division I team.
Something we haven't seen yet. The trap inside to Nicholson. When he's in the ball game as a fullback, he's going to get the football, especially on short yardage. Now that was 1st and 10, and he lost a yard and a half or so. But rarely do they have him in there without giving him the football.
Not much works when Josh Goodman, number 79, is going to get penetration like that, beating the block inside, getting into the back. When we talk about, you see a lot of slanting, a lot of gap play by the Mendon defense. That's what they like to do, Matt. Get into the gaps, create big plays defensively.
Little draw to Sabo, but the Hornets had it sniffed out quickly. Justin Goodman with another solid play in the trenches.
Well, he's definitely been good, man. Check him out right here, using his hands a little bit. Pushing the blocker away that time, Matt. That's what you like. Justin Jers is a nice offensive lineman, but he just doesn't really have the size to stand up with Goodman.
Now an important 3rd down and 10 for the Raiders. Hall will operate out of the shotgun. Looking, getting some pressure, floating, and almost picked off by Dell. We've seen some two-sided stars. We saw a couple yesterday. Jared Dell rakes right up there with him. He's always around the football.
Well, he is. Murray Percival was a nice player yesterday. But look at Jared Dell, the break on the ball. It looks like Klein is open. And that's acceleration. And that's coming from a linebacker. Obviously, Jared Dell could play defensive back. They just need his athleticism and his size. He's put together pretty well, about 190 pounds. They need him up in the linebacker spot.
Andy Hall will have to kick it away from his own 32. He averages 37 yards per punt. Great kick. Edinger watches it sail over his head and bounce to his right, and it'll be down at about the 21-yard line. And Decatur hoping that they can pin Mendon back, but the Hornets have been able to run the football pretty well, similar to what they did last year. They really mixed it up last year in their 7th state championship win ever in school history. Eric Edinger with a touchdown pass against Beale City. And a great grab there too, and off to the races they went. The defense was solid as well, as John Schwartz celebrated his own personal 6th state championship. Here on Fox Sports Net, the final of that game, 20-0. Mark Batten back to carrying the football up the middle for more plus yardage for the Hornets offense.
Well, Mark Batten, we know that Linus in the Peanuts cartoon had his security blanket. Well, Mark Batten's security blanket is number 23. That's his fullback, Jared Dell. He just gets on his hip, and he knows with that 4-year starter in front of him, he's going to take away the first guy that tries to stop the play, and he just cuts off him each time.
Batten gets a well-deserved rest. Kyle Rice is checked into the ball game. He's the up back at 5'7", 160, trying to block for Jared Dell, who's 5'8", 195. Rice up the middle. Past the 40. Jamil Elware in on the tackle from his cornerback position. But boy, Mendon is really churning up the yards.
Turn up, and this is a little cross-up quick. It's a fullback trap inside. The first time Rice gets hit by Zach Ratke, his offensive tackle. But does a nice job, a little pinball action. Maybe a little bit quicker to hold than Jared Dell from the fullback position. Just a change-up by John Schwartz.
Luke McLaughlin split wide to the left for the Hornets. He wears number 18. Mark Batten back into the ball game as a tailback. And he has the football and was tripped up at around the 42-yard line.
You feel the rhythm really starting, really being created by the Mendon offense. They're running fullback trap inside. They're running some lead ISO. Watch for the quarterback keep. They've been running it, and they give it to the tailback following the fullback each time. Complementary play. You're going to see Edinger ride it. He's going to pull it and then try to get to the perimeter.
Again, keeping that Decatur defense off balance. Edinger, we already know, can throw the football. You saw a highlight from last year's state championship. One of 2 touchdowns he threw in that game. Now a stretch play for Batten, who avoided one tackler and then kind of pushed his way for a couple of more. The tackle made by Lee Mosier, who's of the two with Mosier and Nicholson. Mosier is the big, strong guy at 6'2", 202. John Schwartz knows that Josh Nicholson has better speed for that Raider defense. Mosier, the school's all-time leading tackler in a career, in a season, and in a game. A lot of different colleges looking at his defensive skills. 3rd down and 6 will take some skills on the part of Mendon's offense. Here's an option. Batten at the edge for a 1st down and more.
If you're going to run the option, Matt, you have to have perimeter blocking. A nice ride by Edinger, and the pitch is there. Noah Cook's going to come into your screen. 24. Look at him staying on Cade Klein long enough to enable him to pick up the necessary 1st down yardage. And that's a good job. Once again, talking about receivers, how it's important for them to block downfield. Noah Cook has done a wonderful job so far this afternoon.
Batten with an 11-yard gainer. Another 1st down for the Hornets. Here comes a reverse. Zinmaster tucked it inside, broke a couple of tackles, and got inside the 40.
You've been drooling to say that, haven't you? That's going to be the best name I've heard this weekend, the Zinsmaster. On the reverse, we're going to see Zinsmaster going to be lined up far to the left right here. He's going to come all the way in the reverse. The action goes this way, and they're going to bring him back. But look at Decatur staying home. A good job. Really, Zinsmaster does a nice job of cutting it back up. And that's what you like, decision-making process. He sees that's going to be strung out. He doesn't try to keep going to the corner, Matt. He just takes what's there.
Now on a 2nd down and 6 for Eric Edinger. Keep it on the ground with Batten. Why not? He's been successful as he lunges for the 35. Might be a little short of the 1st down as we approach the 7-minute mark of the 1st half.
Brings up a 3rd down and short, Matt. Do you think they go to the big fullback, Jared Dell, in this situation? I'm looking possibly from the Edinger to
throw the ball. I'd throw the ball.
Or you could just do that quarterback keep they haven't run in a while, which he picked about 7 yards on.
I'm a risky play caller. I'd throw it because I know it's 4-down territory. But they use your quarterback sneak to get the 1st down. Edinger was bumped initially and then kind of shook free from the initial contact and found a little bit of daylight over the left guard and moved the chains again. Good blocking by Dan Kloosterman at the left guard position. Another 1st down for Mendon.
Just a sneak inside. Actually, good penetration. Edinger trying to pick a side. He stays with and able to pick up the necessary yards for 1st down. They never really do get him down on the ground.
8th 1st down for Mendon in the ball game. They average 18 per contest. 1st and 10. Batten again. Fumble. Somebody's got to get it. One big dog pile around midfield. And it was an offensive lineman, Mike McQuaig, who hustled back to finally grapple it.
You're going to see a nice stick inside. Batten goes, and the helmet's right on the ball. I think it was Nicholson who hit him. And now all of a sudden becomes a hot potato. No one really can get a hold of it. Looks like Decatur's going to get it. Good hustle by Mike McQuaig. Here it is, 63 linebacker. Nicholson stick. Oh, helmet right on the ball. That's how you coach. Not only he's putting the helmet on the ball, Matt, he's wrapping with his arms. He's just not trying to knock the guy down. He's hitting the guy, wrapping him.
He is the school's 2nd all-time leading tackler to his teammate Lee Mosier. Now 2nd down and 26. Dell can throw, looking, reversing his field, and he stuffed it about the 40-yard line. David Williamson came in out of nowhere and used his quickness to knock him down for another loss.
This is going to be a throwback play. We're going to freeze this right in the beginning and look. He's going to toss it here, but Edinger, the quarterback, he's going to sneak out, try to go all the way down the sidelines, but not to be. Dell goes to the strong side. He's looking for the throwback. Decatur has it covered. Now it takes too long and the pressure gets to him. You know, every running back wants to throw the ball, but sometimes Jared Dell has to realize, just take what's there. He should have tucked that and ran it because it was well defended. They ran that play, I believe, against the Pores in the tournament for a big play. By that time, you can see the scouting of Coach Joe Grove pays off.
Decatur declined the penalty. That means it's 3rd down and 35 for Mendon. Little draw. Didn't fool anybody. David Williamson in on the tackle.
Not too long ago, they had 1st and 10 on the 34. Now they're faced with about a 4th 37. How fortunes change in the game of football.
Great defensive stand on the part of Joe Groh's club, and it all started because Josh Nicholson knocked the football out of the hands of Mark Batten. Edinger will punt it away. Usually you'd think a quarterback and a punter, one and the same. You got to be alert for the fake, but not on a 3rd down or a 4th down and 37. He fumbled the snap, and it was partially blocked. Picked up by Michael Burns. And Decatur seems like they have regained the momentum. I think it was Adam Newell who came in and got a paw on it. The Raiders trail by 1, but have Mother Mo in their possession when we come back.
From the director of Get Shorty and Men in Black.
Pick him up. You, give me your watch.
I think you guys should turn yourselves in and plead not guilty by reason of stupidity.
Tim Allen, Rene Russo.
Is that a goat?
Big Trouble.
Snake, let's get the hell out of here. I think I hear one of them silent alarms.
Give me your keys.
If you subscribe to a local TV package, there is an easy way to find your favorite channel. The Dish Network channel numbers are the same as the local stations. In Denver, for instance, the CBS affiliate, Channel 4, shows up as Channel 4 in your on-screen program guide. Just select it. You can also punch in the local channel number on your remote control. Dish Network is all about convenience, and that includes finding your local TV stations.
Raiders trail by 1, but seemingly have the momentum with 4:12 left to go in the first half. Special teams part of the game too, Rob Rubik, and the Raiders just made a big play there.
And the big play was made by Adam Newell after a bobble snap. This is a good snap. This falls on Eric Edinger, the quarterback and the punter. Newell keeps coming with it, gets a hand on it. Now right there you see Michael Burns, Johnny on the spot. Matt, we just talk about how games can change. Nice look at Adam Newell. How things change so quickly. Instead of having a 1st down and 34 going in where it looks like you're possibly going to get some points out of it, now the ball's on the other 35-yard line, and Decatur has 1st and 10.
Adam Newell, whose brother Brad lost in the state finals in 1997. Now Hall on a flag on the play. Lofting for the sideline and just out of the reach of Cade Klein. Usually indicates illegal motion or holding. We'll get the official call from our referee, Ralph Locke. So an illegal motion call against Decatur pushes them back.
I think that it came from the quick count. They tried going on the quick, Matt, but the offensive line wasn't set long enough. And get a little,
offense, repeat 1st down.
Get a little movement up there before everything's ready, and the officials hit him with a 5-yard penalty. Right now, it seems like neither team wants to take advantage of the opportunities presented to them. They're starting to struggle.
1st down and 15 with 4:06 to go in the first half. Andy Hall. Sabo. Good move up the middle, spinning his way toward the 30. Kyle Rice making the tackle for Mendon.
Sabo's a little bit of a slasher. He likes to go look and cut underneath the block of the fullback. Takes that hip away, spins, get a little bit of that shake and bake. I like the way he runs. He runs kind of high, a little bit different than what we've seen from the Mendon backs, but he keeps his legs going and some good team tackling by Mendon.
2nd down and 5 now from the Hornets' 30-yard line for Andy Hall and the Decatur Raiders. Not much there for Sabo that time. Good penetration by Mike McQuaig.
Calling Mike McQuaig's number a lot this afternoon. Did a nice job in the defensive line getting penetration. And you're going to see what Mendon does well. That's team defense. A lot of white shirts. Good penetration by Andy Motes. That time Sheptick's there. You got Josh Goodman in on the play. So that's what you want. You want a swarming. The Hornets need to be swarming here defensively.
Mendon 1 of 2 on 3rd, or Decatur rather, 1 of 2 on 3rd down. Sabo shifting his way along the left side, and he'll be short.
Number 44. This can maybe bring up the biggest play of the early morning game here. It's going to 4th down and a long one, maybe 2 yards for Decatur. with only 2.5 minutes to go in the game, this is going to be the last opportunity, I'm going to say, for these two teams to possibly put points on the board. I'm going out on a limb here.
See if Decatur can take advantage of their crowd standing in unison. And an offsides call, I believe, against Mendon. We'll get official word here, but it looked like they jumped.
And that is set up. They've been going on the quick. They've been coming to the line of scrimmage, and we get set. They're going on first sound, first sound, first sound. That time they come up, they go first sound, but they don't go. They draw the defense. What a huge play. And that's coaching. That's almost as good a job as calling a nice corner route. Working that defense takes discipline by your offensive front to hold their water.
So 1st and 10 now for the Raiders. We approach the 2-minute mark of the first half. The Raiders trailing by 1 after the missed extra point. Sabo, the workhorse.
This game's moving right along. I'm glad we're not paid by the hour, Matt. This game's only 52 minutes long, and we're approaching the first half ending. That would happen if you have 2 ball control offenses and 2 good defenses.
It's amazing how defenses can sway momentum just as easily as offenses and big plays. I mean, big play made by Decatur's defense in the last Mendon possession, setting up their offense. Andy Hall wants to throw on a half roll. Now it's a full roll. Looking, pressured, and dumped at the 25.
That's a situation where Andy Hall, as an experienced quarterback, has just got to throw the ball away. He made the right decision not trying to throw the ball down the field, because there's not going to be anyone open. They're just going to run here. They're going to run him down here. They're just getting people out in the corner, into the flat. But look at all the white shirts by the brown shirts. There's nothing open. So Andy, throw it away. Put yourself in a 3rd down in a more manageable situation.
A timeout on the field with 1:11 to go in the first half. The Raiders have the ball. 2 timeouts remaining, but stare at a 3rd down and long for Andy Hall. Can they get it? Stick around to find out.
You're losing your hair, and you haven't ordered Avocor yet? Hi, I'm Derek Cope, race car driver and TV analyst. To do your best, you need to look and feel your best. When I started noticing my hair thinning, I decided to take action. I explored various options, and I found the Avocor system. The experts at Avocor told me that hair loss is caused by a body chemical called DHT that stops your hair from growing. Avocor has an all-natural DHT blocker, and its topical physician's formulation starts your hair growing again. It worked for me. It's about confidence and the desire to win. Avocor does that.
Join the tens of thousands of satisfied customers who have reversed their hair loss with Avocor. It's guaranteed. Call 800-270-1892. Now you can use Avocor risk-free for 1 full year. It's guaranteed. Call 800-270-1892. That's 800-270-1892.
1:11 left to go in the first half. Mendon making their appearance here and seeking another state championship. This is their 10th appearance, or 9th appearance rather, in a state finals, tying Muskegon. Trailing only Harrison, who lost to Brother Rice earlier this year. We saw Brother Rice lose yesterday. Detroit Catholic Central at 1 o'clock. They are also up there in double digits. Sabo wants to throw. Majewski, oh, he had it right in his belly and couldn't hold on.
That was a different type of pitch pass. When Sabo gets the ball, not only does he run wide to the side, Matt, then he starts going up the field like he is going to run. Usually they just see him going east and west. But that time you see Kevin Majewski never giving up, batting with good coverage. The ball was thrown pretty well by running back. Andy Hall better watch his back. His job could be in jeopardy. Look at Sabo. Now watch, he'll go up the field like he's going to tuck it right, and then he gets in the line of scrimmage.
It's almost like a jump shot in basketball.
He makes Doak Walker proud. Wouldn't he? A little jump throw from the quarterback position. And I think Batten gets a hand on it, just a fingertip.
Well,
Majewski's going to have a touchdown.
Now, they used to play basketball here, remember the Pistons used to play basketball here before the Palace was built about 12 years ago. Mickey York.
Now, both of these coaches have differing philosophies on their trip to the Dome here. In '97, when Decatur lost to Ravenna, they came down the morning of the game. The kids were kind of shell-shocked. They were looking at the big screen by the second play of the game instead of getting lined up. Well, this year, Coach Grove brought them down yesterday, had them watch a couple of games just to get a feel for the place. John Schwartz, on the other side, has never brought his team down early and doesn't allow them to watch the games. I asked him why. He says, I don't want to let them feel it until they get here. You can't argue with the philosophy, Matt.
Yeah, you're right about that, Mick. No question. Andy Hall on a throw and an incomplete pass on a 4th and long, and now Mendon will take over with under a minute to go in the first half. Anthony Davis, Kyle Rice out there making the play for Mendon.
Well, as Hall rolls out here, he has Michael Northup going deep with his hand in the air. He's trying to draw the Mendon defense because he just wants to throw it underneath to Mosier, but there's nothing there. Well defended by Mendon. And you know, this is a defense. They're not going to bite on that old throw it long, throw it underneath stuff. Not when they have you in 4th and long. Coach Schwartz is a little bit too wise for that.
Edinger keep it on the ground with Batten finding his way to the 30. You know, to follow up on Mickey's point, John Schwartz is, I don't want to call him a guy who kind of gets into little idiosyncrasies, but he wants to make sure his kids are comfortable, so much so he took them into the locker room while Decatur was coming out. Decatur stood along the sidelines during the national anthem. Schwartz had the Hornets inside their locker room not to hear the national anthem and kind of get out there and get all tight. Brought them out afterwards. 2nd and 6 now for the Hornets, who lead by 1. Rice on a trap play, fighting his way for a +3. Looks like both teams are just satisfied to head to the locker room with what they have on the board right now after Lee Mosier made the tackle for Decatur.
And you were talking about John Schwartz, and he had an amusing little anecdote. We were talking before the game, and he was saying, you know, boss, what kind of changes do you make, and what are you going to do if they do this? I'm giving him all these scenarios. He goes, you know, Rob, he goes, I'm not really that smart. He said, I try to keep it simple. He said, we just try to take away what their best play is, and we try to do our best play. He said, we keep it real simple. You know what? It's been a pretty good formula for him, Matt.
You're right. He told us less is more. And I wanted to use the philosophy, you know, the KISS philosophy. Keep it simple, stupid. And he says, well, if you take out the final S, I'll agree with it. Keeping it simple is our philosophy. Our kids do very few things on offense, but they do them all very well. And that's why Mendon has had so much success. You saw the graphic earlier. 9th state final appearance. They are 7-1 in state championship games.
Well, you get lucky. Sometimes coaches and teams have a lucky season where you might make it here once. When you're here for your 9th time,
right,
there's something going on right in your time.
No, I agree with that. And no longer is it all luck. You have to have a few breaks go your way. John Schwartz actually felt like they had more than their share of breaks against DePorres. But now he is ready to go, and he is also looking forward to the second half. We'll get his thoughts. Mickey York will tell us about that when we come back. Mendon leading by 1, 7-6 on Fox Sports.
Sometimes I just wish they'd keep our parents out of the gym, and the game would probably be more fun.
Not all of our parents are bad sports. It would help, though, if the good sports told the spoiled sports to sit down and shut up. Shut up.
Sure, we want to win when we play, but we want to have fun, too.
Now we need you to behave properly when we go to all of our events.
So in closing, we have just one last message.
We need you to be a good sport.
Meet Evan, a bachelor who earns $19,000 a year.
Great hair, great eyes, great body.
And meet the 20 women who are about to compete for his heart. Why? They think he's worth $50 million. Now, who would ever give him that idea? Can true love survive a little $50 million lie? Joe Millionaire, a new reality series with a twist.
It's a dream come true.
That's really twisted. Coming next month to Fox.
You are looking at the new king of professional wrestling.
World Wrestling Entertainment presents Hulk Still Rules. Witness rare matches and classic footage that were part of the explosion of one of the biggest phenomenon ever in the history of sports entertainment.
Hulkamania will live forever.
Hulk Still Rules. Available all December on Dish On Demand pay-per-view.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs. Now, the pig in the straw house was not as careless as some may think. Today, we'd call him budget conscious. So, while the other 2 pigs were out spending big bucks on movies, he enjoyed big hit movies and original series on his premium channel package from Dish Network. By the time the wolf came around, this little pig had used the money he saved for something really important: an electric fence. You'll be shocked by the savings when you add Showtime Stars, HBO, or Cinemax. Call 1-800-333-DISH today.
A missed extra point is the difference so far through 24 minutes of play in the Division 7 final. Mendon's Hornets leading the Raiders of Decatur 7-6. And welcome back. We are seeing a couple of outstanding athletes on both sides of the football, on both sidelines. We're looking at Lee Mosier for Mendon. We're looking at players in Decatur who have accomplished an awful lot in their high school careers as well. In our halftime feature today, we take you back to a different time, a decade ago, the 1990s, and who was best at what they did.
Tyrone Wheatley of Robichaud is a perfect example. He played basketball, but was all-state in football and track, where he won 9 state individual titles.
Tyrone really wanted to be an Olympian, and he tried. He was a great long jumper. What held him back is he was just too big.
He holds 3 state records in track in the 100-meter dash, which he ran in 10.59 seconds. You have to realize this is a large running back, and to run that fast, that's the same time that Chuck Rogers ran it as a senior up at Saginaw.
But he excelled at football. He averaged 2 touchdowns a game in 38 career high school games.
Here was another kid who
with Corey Sabo running it in. Nice job, good blocking inside, but Mendon was up to the challenge. They come back. Ring my Dell right here. From about 23 yards out, Jared Dell showing some power, explosion, good downfield blocking. Bring it back 7-6. They take the lead. Now, big play, forced fumble hit by Josh Mickelson. Recovered up the field by Burns. Stops one drive, and then sometimes things go from bad to worse. Another block punt here. Not another block punt, but a block punt. Michael Burns recovers, but the Mendon defense was up to the challenge, Matt, and was able to hold Decatur from getting in the end zone.
Now let's take a look at the halftime stats brought to you by Bell Tire. Look at the score. We know it's the difference of 1, but Mendon has the upper hand, especially in time of possession, Rob.
Time of possession, and this is a pretty impressive stat. When you're playing a team of Decatur's caliber, to be able to put up 125 yards rushing in the first half. But the bottom line is Mendon is still only able to put up 7 points, Matt. And that is not what they need. I don't think 7 points is going to hold up in this game. Decatur's offense looked at times like they're pretty confident, able to move the ball and do some things against the Hornet defense. So they're going to need to be able to put the ball in the end zone again if they're going to come away with a win.
Hey, we knew this was going to be a low-scoring game. Each team giving up just 6 points per game so far in the postseason. We're right around there, but we still have 24 minutes to go. The second half gets things kick-started when we come back.
I'm an official because I can be part of the game, not just a spectator. I'm involved.
I'm a mentor to the kids so they learn the game and respect the game. I've enhanced my leadership skills.
I'm more disciplined.
And I've learned to be fair-minded in tough situations. Officiating isn't easy, and it's certainly not for everyone.
But it could be for you.
Call this number below and find out how you can become a sports official in your community.
Make the call!
Are you one of the millions
Welcome back to the Silverdome. Coach Joe Groh, your team trails by 1. What did you talk about at the half?
Well, we talked about doing a little better job defensively and holding our blocks a little longer on offense. We've got some things we think will work, but the players got to step up and make some plays.
They tried to loosen you up defensively with some gadget plays. Do you expect that to continue in the second half?
No, I expect them to come out and run over us. That's pretty much what they've been doing, so I think they'll stay with it.
All right, Coach, best of luck to you.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll be right back with the second half in just a few minutes. 7-6, Mendon leads Decatur here in the Division 7 final.
Our principal from our high school actually had to come down and tell the students and parents to quit doing the BS cheer.
We get thrown out of games if we acted like that. I don't know why the adults think they have a right to act that way.
The problem with parents showing poor sportsmanship at school games is very real and very serious.
And when you don't practice good sportsmanship, it does take all the fun out of the game for us.
So in closing, we have just one last message.
We need you to be a good sport.
The NBA's premier players clash in this conference battle. The electrifying Ben Wallace and the Pistons are making a statement in the East, but All-Star Tracy McGrady and the Magic believe this is their year.
Oh, you got to love it!
Prepare to take flight. The league's elite play here. Pistons Magic, Wednesday at 1:30 on Fox Sports Net.
ACC basketball. The nation's premier program square off in a power-packed doubleheader. First, Cincinnati throws down with dominating big man Chris Hobbs and the Clemson Tigers. Then, Seminole Country comes alive as North Carolina's fabulous freshmen battle Florida State. ACC Sunday Night Hoops, today on Fox Sports Net.
Corey Sabo had the first touchdown of the game, 6 carries, 66 yards so far in that first half, but he and the Raiders missed the extra point. They trail by 1. Here's our Wallside Windows road to the finals. Mendon getting there after a blowout win over Concord, White Pigeon, and then shutting out Jonesville and then upsetting DePorres. John Schwartz still trying to figure that one out, he said. Meanwhile, Decatur rolled Lawrence for the second time this season and then beat Gobles for the second time this season. In the 2 games against Gobles, Decatur beat him 43-0, then an upset over Muskegon Catholic, and then beating Norway last week 21-7 in a brutal 30-mile-per-hour wind, single-digit wind chill, and a frozen field.
They should have played it at the Superior Dome. I'm sure Norway would have obliged, being about an hour from Marquette, but Decatur would have nothing to do with that. So
that's a long ride for them, too, isn't it?
To Norway? If they went up to Norway, yeah, it's like a 12-hour flight across the Atlantic to Norway.
No. That's not what I meant. Hey, the MHSAA Women in Sports Leadership Conference is for anyone interested in becoming a coach, official, or athletic administrator. Student athletes are also encouraged to attend. The 2003 conference is February 2nd and 3rd in Lansing. For more information, contact the MHSAA office, or you can visit MHSAA.com. Decatur fans ready to go. Their team will have their offense out on the field first. Corey Sabo back deep to return along with Kevin Majewski, who wears number 20. It is angled toward Majewski, who will field it at the 24. Make one man miss and then get to the 34-yard line. So the Raiders go on offense, a team that is used to scoring an awful lot of points. They average 33 per game during the season, Rob, and 22 in the playoffs. They also average 342 total yards of offense per game. But right now, most of their offense only coming from Corey Sabo.
Pretty even, though, when you look at the battle of the running backs. Batten with 74 yards, Sabo with 83, fewer carries, better average. But both have been valuable for their teams.
It'll be Sabo to start. Sabo, 66 of his 83 yards came in the first quarter of play. Kyle Rice in on that tackle.
You can see Sabo, watch the end here. It may have been a little bit of an inadvertent face mask, not a call by the official. That's just a pursuit. That's Rice is in there. You see Justin Goodman trying to get in there. You see the hand
I think it was Anthony Davis in the 17. He got up, but the officials let it go, and it's possibly a good no call.
Hall wanted to throw. Now he'll tuck it and run. Make a nice move at the 40 and reach the 42 before being dropped by Jared Dell.
And a little bit different look for the Decatur Raiders that time. They came out more of a spread look with the receivers being wide. They run everyone off down the field. Looks like they're almost trying to set up a screen, but at the last minute, Andy Hall says, you know, I'm just going to tuck it. I'm going to run it. We saw this a lot last night with Mark Catlin from Lowell High School. Andy Hall showing that, you know, he's got a little running ability of his own.
Jared Dell, a guy who plays basketball in the offseason, but people in Mendon say basketball is strictly football in the offseason. That's how physical they play it. He's also a solid baseball player. A handoff and a pickup for Josh Nicholson. And enough for the first down. We talked about when he's in the game, usually he gets the football. That has been the case so far. And a couple of times he's been in that formation.
Yeah, they haven't called his number very many times this morning, Matt. But when they have, he's been productive in a couple yards, but that's all they ask him. And they're not looking for 8, 10-yard gains. You just give us 1 or 2 yards. He's used to that physical play being the inside linebacker, and being a fullback is very similar.
Good average last week in the win over Norway, 21-7. Hall wants to throw. Flush from the pocket, dumps it off, and it's caught right around midfield by Kevin Majewski. Pretty good coverage by Kyle Rice, 5'7", 160-pound senior, but Majewski, who had 11 catches during the year, or 39 catches, I should say, and had 11 last week against Norway.
Majewski's right here. He's going to slide in. He's going to work to the outside. Look at Kyle Rice right on him, man for man. And that's tough. Mendon had about 7 guys in coverage, and Decatur had 2 people in the pass rush. Yeah, they were still able to complete it for about a 4-yard gain.
Now Hall under center. Sable found a lane. Looked like a football came loose late, too.
I think the ball popped out late. We're going to have, I see a yellow light, a little bit of laundry on the sidelines over there. Here's the pitch to Sable. He's a slasher. He likes to get north and south. He'll turn his hip, and there's a good hit. The ball comes loose. Decatur does recover it. Some comes flying over that time. Number 2, Anthony Sheftick, showing some good speed from the other opposite end defensive tackle position.
Decatur only lost the football 6 times this year on fumbles.
Illegal position. Repeat second down.
Must have been a late flag. Ralph Locke saying illegal position against Joe Grove's football team. So bring up a 2nd down and 12 for the Raiders. Sable ran into his own man up front, Nicholson. That allowed Mendon to make even deeper penetration. Anthony Davis in on the tackle. Third and 11 for the Raiders at their own 44-yard line. And now a timeout called by Joe Grove. He's trying to settle his club down a little bit. You know, at the beginning of the year, Rob, they opened with 4 playoff teams and were able to beat them all. Now they're trying to beat another top-notch club in Mendon. They trail by 1.
Hey, settle down. Now, don't worry. If Keyshawn Johnson said he'll be here, he'll be here.
We'd like to welcome in a guy who always finds time to be on the show, Keyshawn Johnson.
Introducing 54321, covering the entire world of extreme sports, nightly.
Will the winner fall for the man or the mansion? Joe Millionaire, the ultimate test of love versus money. A new reality series coming next month to Fox.
Decatur trails by 1, staring at a 3rd down and long. Down to the sidelines. Mickey York.
Matt, referee Ralph Locke is doing something for the first time today. He's been doing this for a long time, but he's getting a chance to officiate his first state championship game. Tom Essenberg was supposed to do this game. He's done several in the past, so he asked the MHSAA if it would be okay to give Locke a crack at it. They said yes, so Locke living out a dream today as well. Matt?
Nice report. Thanks, Mickey, and doing a fine job, too. Here's Andy Hall trying to do a job through the air, but falls incomplete on a 3rd down and 11. Decatur now 2 for 6 on 3rd down conversions, and they will have to punt it away.
Well, they just ran the big tight end Leffler that time on a short corner route, and they took Cade Klein to split it and ran him on the post, a little crossing route. But Mendon wasn't fooled. They covered it extremely well. They were right in position, and Andy Hall, as you said, Matt, was just forced to throw the ball away. That's not a bad decision. Line up, punt the ball, let your team do what they probably do best, and that's play defense.
One quarterback will kick to another. Hall delivers to Edinger. Signals for a fair catch at the 28, and he was hit, too, and a late flag will fly because Leffler got overly aggressive. No, actually, that wasn't Leffler. That was Kevin Wiles.
Well, they don't have the halo rule in high school, Matt, but you do have to allow, after a fair catch, an opportunity for the return man to make the catch unimpeded. And that time, as you can see, Wiles got in there a little bit too quickly. He should have waited a while, huh?
Embellished a little bit.
You think?
Sure, it was embellished, but, you know, I mean, he had to make sure the referee saw him. Here's some of the rules that Rob was talking about. 12-minute quarters. Kicker punts cannot be returned out of the end zone. We've seen that more on Friday than we have today. The no halo rule that Rob was referring to.
Although you still have to give him the opportunity to catch the ball, you can't interfere.
And the fumble Ruski play is allowed, but you have to give the referee kind of a heads up on that call. So 1st and 10 for Mendon, and their first possession of the second half. Patton starts the second half much the way he did the first, with a good pickup along the left side.
And they're going to their bread and butter play. When you talk about Mendon and their offense and their running game, you know, they like the fullback trap. You've seen that power tray. They're going where they pull the offside guard, they kick out with the fullback, and the tailback just follows them inside. And Batten's made a living with that play this afternoon.
16 carries, 74 yards in the first half from Mark Batten. Picked up 4 more there. Inside handoff, Dell lowered the shoulder and got past the 50.
I want the quarterback keep. Now, we saw them keep calling for this play. They ran in the first half, and they picked up 7 or 8 yards. I just think they've set it up for their running game by running that power play, running that fullback trap inside. You either have to go pitch outside, run option, or run the quarterback keep. But if you don't threaten the perimeter, you can't run the ball inside. Once another near fumble, Jared Dell putting the clamps on it with his thighs a little bit as it trickled down his body.
But Decatur really tackles the football well. 2 for 5 is Mendon on 3rd down. Edinger, quick pitch, Batten stuffed. He broke free for a moment, then wrapped back up by Cade Klein. Good penetration. Good job to shed the wide receiver block, too.
Excellent job. You know, I look kind of dumb right now. I was calling for the option, and you're going to see it come down the line of scrimmage. But watch all the brown jerseys. They read it quick, and they're going to fly up and take the option away. You're also going to see right here, it beats the block of the receiver. It comes inside. And, you know, we've been giving Cook kudos all day for the outstanding job Noah's been doing on the perimeter. That time, Cade Klein just beats him to the punch.
Corey Sabo and Kevin Majewski are back inside their own 20 to receive Eric Edinger's kick. Left-footed drive. Fielded by Sabo. That is 16. Looking for the block, and he never got it. Good coverage downfield after the first Mendon punt. The Hornets must now go on defense because the Raiders trail by 1, but have the football when we return.
Mac is not a cop. He's Al Capone with a badge.
He stole 2 bricks of cocaine and I saw him do it.
Come near my men again. I'm gonna lose patience.
What are you mixed up in?
We killed a cop. You've got to get Vic Mackey off the streets.
What did you do?
Nothing you haven't done. Nothing you haven't done. I'm a different kind of cop. Who can I trust?
The Shield in all new season, January 7th on FX.
The NBA's premier players clash in this conference battle.
Oh, my!
statement in the East, but All-Star Tracy McGrady and the Magic believe this is their year.
Oh, you got to love it.
Prepare to take flight. The league's elite play here. Pistons Magic, Wednesday at 1:30 on Fox Sports Net.
Schwartz, the Mendon head coach, seeking his 7th state championship, the 8th in school history. His team leads by 1, but is on the defense now. Hall will throw for Decatur. Lofting, caught by Savo, tiptoeing along the sideline at the 29.
In the passing game for Decatur, they really like to involve Savo. He's the fullback. They use the play action because they haven't been able to run the ball. They're going to fake it, and he's just going to keep coming right through into the flat. That's a well-thrown ball. Andy Hall, when given time at all, can really deliver the ball on target.
Kyle Rice with good coverage there for Mendon. Now on a 2nd down and medium yardage. Balancing up Josh Nicholson, stumbling his way about 2 yards, 3 yards shy of the 1st down.
And that's just a fullback trap. When Nicholson's in the game at fullback, Matt, as you've indicated time and time again, they give him the ball. They use Corey Sable, the tailback, as a decoy. They sprint him out on the snap of the ball. They just try to run the fullback trap underneath. And a good job defensive by Justin Goodman.
We'll call it 3rd down and a short 4. Andy Hall hands off to Savo, who bowls his way past the 35. Needed to get about the 36.5-yard line for a 1st down. Don't think he got it. See what Savo did against Norway last week, averaging almost 6 yards per touch and had a big touchdown in that 21-7 win in the semifinals in the cold. 3 and out for the Raiders. Andy Hall will kick it away to Eric Ettinger, who will back up to his own 30. Hall with a lane, and he delivers. Nothing but brown jerseys down there to run over Ettinger, and a flag on the play. Rob talked about the no halo rule in high school. Kevin Wiles wanted to know what went wrong now, considering Ettinger signaled no fair, or did not signal a fair catch.
Now they're taking it off. They're waving it off. They're going to say, as long as the ball gets to him first. But you know what? There wasn't a halo, but that's what I get as close as the hair in my head, man. It's about a 1/4 inch long. They got really close. Let's see. Get a better look. Does he catch the ball? That's about as close as you can get.
Wow.
And if the MHSA reviews this, they may start implementing a halo rule next year, because obviously the intent is not to get people injured. And that's tough. The guy kind of hung out to dry, but great coverage by Decatur.
Excellent
taking
coverage.
advantage of the rules.
Yeah. Cade Klein was also down there, and so was Jamil Elware. Ettinger rolling, firing, wide open. Zinmaster into Decatur territory. Big play there for the Hornets offense.
Well, they've been running the ball. They've been running that stretch play, the power off tackle. And that time, Eric Ettinger does a nice job with the play action. Zinsmaster, he's going to split wide to the left, and he's going to stock block a little bit and then come off. And you see Ettinger looking down the field. Does a nice job of ball faking, Matt. Keeping the ball, making it look like it's the key play the entire time. At the last minute, he decides to throw it.
Zinmaster's 7th catch of the year. Handoff inside. Kyle Rice, nothing going.
This is a defense for Decatur, Matt, is very active. We talk about they'll move, they'll stem, they'll come up, they'll go back. They'll show you a lot of different looks. But ultimately, you know what? They're going to end up in what they need to be. It's kind of like a batter in baseball. A lot of them have different ways to get to the pitch, but they will end up in pretty much the same hitting stance.
Funny you bring up baseball. Decatur won the state baseball championship last year, was runner-up in 2000. There's the pitch to Dell, trying to stiff arm his way around the edge to the 35, down to about the 32-yard line for another Mendon 1st down.
Well, big players have a way of making big plays in big games, and that's Jared Dell. That play was defended well. You're going to see number 8, Andy Hall, the opposing quarterback, also in the secondary, come up. He's got him, right? No, a little stiff arm, take a little bit of the leg away, down the side. That's a big play, and that's a tough play to accept as a defensive coach for Decatur. And we talk about Coach Burns, who head coach Joe Gross says probably the best defense coordinator in the state. Obviously, he's a little biased, but they were in position to make the play, but they didn't make it.
Dell over 5 yards per carry on the day with that 1 touchdown from Mendon. They fake a reverse, plenty of time for Edinger. Had a lot of people fooled. Is anybody open? No, so he'll tuck it and run. Lower the shoulder and be driven out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. Well, you're right, Rob. That is all part of the makeup of a quarterback. You have to be able to fake very well, and Edinger does it as well as anybody we've seen in this tournament.
That comes with experience. He's going to maybe fake our cam. He's going to put it like a little hand fake, hide it. Where is it? Here it comes around the corner. No, I still have it. And they're trying to go to the post. I think it was number 37. Was that Moats going to the post? Andy Moats, but nothing was there. And to Decatur's credit, you can't find the ball, run deep. Don't want to get behind you because there's a chance it could be thrown past you.
Edinger picked up 7. 2nd down and 3 now for the Hornets. It is Dell again, stumbling his way close to the 15. Tough kid. Buck Mallory and Michael Northrup combining on the tackle.
You know, Matt, we were talking in the open what Mendon needs to do. And one of them is give me a Dell. Do a Dell, right there. Look at him. Getting bumped, getting popped. This 4-year starter, 52 games. He is not intimidated by this setting. To him, this is like a home game. He's been here so much at the Pontiac Silverdome 3 times in his 4-year high school career.
52 starts. Another first down for the Hornets. Dell gets the call again. This time wrestled down at about the 18. Michael Burns, good penetration from his defensive guard position.
And it's a good thing Michael Burns gets penetration because that play was blocked well ahead of the point of attack. Burns kind of sneaks in from the backside, Matt, and gets Dell. 7 tackles, 1 recovered fumble. Pretty nice afternoon, huh? I would take that's a good day's work for Michael Burns. He was able to recover the fumble on the punt block by Adam Newell earlier in the game. But a good job getting penetration backside and not giving up on the play. Michael Burns.
Yeah, that's the key, not giving up on the play. Raiders defense does that not very often. Edinger shakes free from 1 man. Now still on the run. Throws on the run. Caught by Dell inside the 10. Muscles his way to about the 4. What poise by Eric Edinger. And we have a man down. I think it's Michael Northrup. Slow to get up for the Raiders, but stumbles to his feet. Edinger gets up gingerly as well.
Once again, some good ball faking by Eric Edinger. You're going to see it right here. He's going to fake here, come out this side, put the ball on his hip. Now here's Jared Dell. Keep an eye on him. He's going to keep working. I'm not open. Slide back to the middle. That's poise by a quarterback, Matt. Edinger never gets rattled. He keeps his eyes down the field. Always eyes are down the field. Mosier delivers a hit as he delivers the ball, but he stays with it. And right now you get Jared Dell. He's strong like bull.
1st and goal from the 4. Batten bowling his way close to the goal line.
I like Mark Batten, the tailback, 32, following Jared Dell. When I'm inside the 3-yard line, Coach Schwartz, I'd like to give the ball to number 23 right now. This is his 3rd year at the Pontiac Silverdome. Jared Dell, the senior, the leader of this team, the heart and soul of this team, and a little bit stronger inside runner than number 32, Mark Batten.
Champion for John Schwartz in 99. Champion a year ago. Now lined up in a championship-like backfield with Mark Batten and Eric Edinger. Kyle Rice also back there. They'll give it to Batten. Lowers the right shoulder, carries a couple of guys close to the goal line, waiting for a signal. It'll be just shy.
Obviously, Coach Schwartz hasn't seen my Christmas list. I asked for Jared Dell, but we get Mark Batten, and Mark comes pretty darn close. He's using Dell as a lead blocker with a nice kick-out block. But how about Decatur? This is a team, as you would say, Matt, they have a lot of what?
Moxie.
Moxie. They keep on fighting. They're staying in it, never giving up. Good job defensively. Philip Garza comes up.
3rd and goal from the 1. Edinger under center. 32. No, it's Edinger. Touchdown.
Well, sometimes the play you score on is not because of that play call, but it's because of the previous play call. They come out in the power set, Matt. They run it to Batten the time before. They come out in the same formation. Everything's going this way, but watch this, except for the quarterback. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to tuck it. Geez, that was defended well. Adam Newell was there. But you get a senior quarterback like Eric Edinger who can smell a state championship. He's going to take it in.
And knows what it takes to win a state championship. Great athlete, Eric Ettinger, 6'1", 190 pounds, his 11th touchdown this season on the ground. Batten down the hatches through the uprights. 14-6. Mendon in front now by 8, thanks to Eric Ettinger's 1-yard touchdown scamper.
Well, power football is nice, but so is deception. Keep your eye on the quarterback. He gives a nice fake, and look how Mark Batten carries out, jumps into the line of scrimmage. Ettinger does the rest. I'm really surprised that Adam Newell's even in position. That's coaching, and that's Coach Burns, the defensive coordinator for Decatur. I'm sure he has scouted this team hard. He has seen that play before, and he has a spy. In that case, it's Adam Newell locked on Ettinger because they know they like to set you up with the power and run the keep. Newell was in position, but that time Ettinger just won the one-on-one battle.
Nice scoring drive for Mendon to chew up some clock, and now look at Joe Groh. He knows his club has to respond. It's one thing faking if you're a quarterback, Rob, but also Mark Batten did a good job carrying out that fake. Going into the line of scrimmage.
You know, you can make the best ball fake as a quarterback. If the guy you fake it to just kind of stands up and slows down, it doesn't do anything. If the guy you fake it to tucks his arm, jumps up over the line of scrimmage, all of a sudden it validates your fake. And Ettinger did that, and so did Batten, and that's why the play was successful. Well executed.
Now the Raiders must execute on offense. They trail by 8 with 47 seconds to go in the third quarter. Moats will kick it off for Mendon. Corey Sabo and Kevin Majewski are deep in brown and gold. Mendon's Hornets all season long has given up only 6 points in the third quarter. Will the Raiders try and tack on some here? We'll see. Majewski got the corner and a little bit of opening. Good return. 27-yard return for Kevin Majewski.
You're going to look at what a wall return is here. Watch all the brown jerseys are going to come right down there. Setting up. Nice job. Look back inside. But they got to get up the field a little bit quicker. Once you look back in that wall, Matt, and there's nothing threatening, you have to move up the field with the return man. That time, Decatur got a little bit complacent sitting back instead of being a little more aggressive with that wall.
Majewski stays out, takes the slot position. Corey Sabo takes the football, twisting his way to around the 48-yard line. Could be the last play of this first half. A long time ago, Sabo got things started for the Raiders on offense with a 7-yard touchdown run. They need that type of effort again. They have put themselves in a decent position, but trail by 8. Wide receivers to the wide side of the field. Sabo again, feeling his way past the 50 into Mendon territory, and that'll do it. 3 quarters in the books at the Dome in the Division 7 championship game. Eric Ettinger and the Hornets lead by 8. His latest touchdown helping the Hornets to that 14-6 lead through 3.
I'm an official because I can be part of the game, not just a spectator. I'm involved.
I'm a mentor to the kids so they learn the game
and respect the game. I've enhanced my leadership skills.
I'm more disciplined.
And I've learned to be fair-minded in tough situations. Officiating isn't easy, and it's certainly not for everyone.
But it could be for you.
Call this number below and find out how you can become a sports official in your community.
Make the call!
You're losing your hair, and you haven't ordered Avocor yet? Hi, I'm Derek Cope, race car driver and TV analyst. To do your best, you need to look and feel your best. When I started noticing my hair thinning, I decided to take action. I explored various options, and I found the Avocor system. The experts at Avocor told me that hair loss is caused by a body chemical called DHT that stops your hair from growing. Avocor has an all-natural DHT blocker, and its topical physician's formulation starts your hair growing again. It worked for me. It's about confidence and the desire to win. Avocor does that.
Join the tens of thousands of satisfied customers who have reversed their hair loss with Avocor. It's guaranteed. Call 800-270-1892. Now you can use Avacor risk-free for 1 full year. It's guaranteed. Call 800-270-1892. That's 800-270-1892.
Get an amazing Gateway holiday deal for home or office. Buy one award-winning PC and get a second award-winning PC free. Purchase a Gateway 700XL PC or a Gateway 600XL notebook and you'll get a Gateway 300S PC free. Get one and give one. Call 1-800-GATEWAY now for free shipping on all home PC purchases. The Gateway 600XL uses the mobile Intel Pentium 4 processor M.
Mendon starts the fourth with an 8-point lead. A traditional powerhouse is the Hornets, and a big reason their head coach John Schwartz, who is here for the 9th time, but don't ask him to compare teams from the past to this one.
The team you're coaching right now is the most special team to you, but we watched highlight tapes on the way up here of some of the past champions, and I feel the same way about those kids. You get real close to kids this time of the year, and they're like your son, and especially your seniors, you know, you get them to this point where they're doing what you want them to do and are gone.
Nearly gone is Decatur's Lee Mosier. He took that handoff, picked up a big chunk of yardage. His first carry of the morning, Rob Rubik. Obviously, we've called his name a number of times on the defensive side, but this time getting the ball instead of hitting the ball.
Well, there must be something about linebackers that the only position they can play in offense is fullback. You know, you see Nicholson, the other linebacker, running some fullback. That time they bring Lee Mosier in the fullback. And I think the reason is the mentality is very similar. You got to be willing to smash your face mask, you know, be a Corey Schlesinger type where you can break at least one face mask a game.
Well, you bring up one of the best in the NFL. A lot of scrapes on his helmet. 1st and 10. Now the pitch back. Sable squirts free, but couldn't get away from Kyle Rice. You know, we get back to John Schwartz and him talking about this Mendon football team. He says this team is so special because guys like Kyle Rice he has seen grow up as kids, and now they're living a dream.
And Kyle Rice is not much of a kid on this play. Sable going for a big game, but Rice filling, doing a nice job. Team effort, and that's what you want, Matt. You need guys pursuing down the line scrimmage, coming up from the safety position and making plays.
Made the play to hold Decatur into a 2nd down and 7 situation. Sable squares the shoulders. Is he free? No, he's dragged down from behind at the 9-yard line. Andy Moats, but Lee Mosier went out and led the way with a huge block to spring him.
Well, plays are successful for a lot of reasons. This is my favorite saying, Matt, because I like to see the blocking ahead of the play. And right here, look at how he stays. Majewski stays on his block. Then out front, Lee Mosier gets a block, and Sable does the rest. If it's not for Andy Moats, that's going to be a touchdown.
25-yard gainer for the Raiders, whose offense has now come alive. Early in the 1st, now early in the 4th, Sable stuffed at the line of scrimmage and pushed back.
Well, Sheftick getting penetration inside. Not the biggest in stature. We talked about he was listed on the roster as a defensive back in one part of the forms that the coaches fill out. The other part, it was a defensive tackle. I said, you know, usually don't get those two positions mixed up. If you're like a roster, right. You know, D tackle, D end, maybe safety, D corner. They had him as D tackle or DB. I put him down as a D tackle. Believe me, he is a D tackle.
That's just 64 tackles during the regular season. Sable shifting gears. Oh, and he pushed his way close to the goal line. Tried to reach out, and I think they'll call him just shy.
Well, Eric Ettinger, the quarterback on offense that time, was the last resort on defense. He's going to come through the hole with great quickness, a lot of speed. If it's not for number 9, Eric Ettinger, this is going to be a touchdown. Look at, he is a slashing, give him a little hip, take it away type of runner. And that's a good spot by the officials, marking it on the 1-foot line.
It sure is, but if he reaches out, that could be a touchdown. 3rd down and goal from the 1. There it is. Andy Hall nudges his way in for the touchdown.
Now, sometimes you live right, Matt Shepard, and I believe we are this weekend. We've had 3 tremendous games to call. Now with big 2-point conversion coming up. We're going to see a nice sideline shot. And that's just a pretty good line surge. And Andy Hall, the big quarterback, taking it in. You know, Andy's 6'1", 180 pounds. You know, he's put together pretty well. The big 2-point conversion, trailing 14-12.
Throw for it. And they'll get it. Sable with a great catch again. Sabo, one of the many talents and weapons of this Raider offense, is back on the board and tied up at 14 apiece.
Hey, Sterling, you remember that thing we were talking about yesterday?
What thing were we talking about?
You know, if you were still playing, Brian Urlacher.
Well, yeah, kind of small and kind of slow.
Exactly. What was that you were talking about?
Well, I'd say I'd either run by him or run over him. And
what's your name again?
it's my name, Sterling Sharp.
Sterling Sharp, that's what I thought.
Hey, wait a second. Hey, wait, you can't use... That was a figure of speech. Wait up, man. Show me some love.
Sunday NFL Countdown, 11 a.m. on ESPN.
How far can you go with a degree from University of Phoenix Online? Our graduates are GMs, VPs, and CEOs at major corporations. Attending classes via the internet, when and where they want, they received a state-of-the-industry education. And they earned their degree in just 2 to 3 years so they could start putting it to good use now. University of Phoenix Online, the intelligent way to attend class.
For more information, call 800-338-1825.
Corey Sabo with his second two-point conversion this year in the most appropriate time. The Raiders scoring drive, 7 plays, it covers 56 yards in 4.5 minutes. And they get the equalizer, tied at 14. Sabo with 19 carries, 132 yards in the state championship game. Big play. 9:20 to go in the fourth. We have already seen 2 overtime games in our state championship coverage. Here's Batten. Breaks it outside. And is down at the 34.
Well, Matt, this is a big play in the game so far. The 2-point conversion. We're going to see what happens. They're going to bring the tight end to the corner. You can lead the fullback into the flat, and the other fullback's going to hook down. And you're going to see, we're going to look right here and freeze it. What happens is you got 2 brown shirts and only 1 white shirt to cover them. They're stretching Mark Batten. He has to make a decision. He stays deep. They throw it underneath, and that's what you want to do. When you attack a zone, you have to stretch it.
Lee Mosier, the other fullback, was open on the hook as well. Well-designed play. Let's see if Edinger and Batten have an answer. Skipped armed his way. Past the 40 and out at the 41.
Number 32.
The term well-coached team sometimes maybe gets bantered around a little bit too frequently, Matt. But you watch this game, defense, offense, execution, trap blocking, nothing fancy. We're not seeing 87 plays in each of these coaches' playbooks, but the plays they have, they run. They run hard, they run with a lot of passion, and this has been just a great game to be part of.
Both disciplined football teams, too. Haven't seen a lot of bad football out there.
Yeah, not many yellow hankies in this game.
Edinger under center on a 2nd down and 4 from the 41-yard line of the Hornets. Man comes in motion. Edinger will tuck it and flee. Get the first down and spin toward the 50 into Raider territory.
As soon as I say there's not a lot of plays in the coach's playbook, John Schwartz brings out a new one. They run the fake power, or the fake ISO up the middle. They bring the one man on the reverse. They fake him, and then it's a quarterback keep. You're going to see it's fake to Batten. Now he comes down the line. That's a call. That's a play they have in their playbook. It's just to keep off the ISO.
One wide receiver into the Mendon offense. The up back, Jared Dell, holding tightly onto that football. We have seen it squirt free more than once here this morning. Lee Mosier in on the tackle. Mosier with 12 tackles last week against Norway and was suffering from the flu. He is healthy today, as evident on the last Decatur offensive possession. Now he continues to take care of business on the defensive side of things. 2nd down and 3 for the Hornets. Eric Edinger, who had given his team a 14-6 lead moments ago before Decatur tied it up. Hands off to Batten, who cannot hurdle the defensive line. Inside tight, David Williamson.
Well, you don't have to be the biggest man on the field to make the biggest impact. That time, David Williamson, 5'9", 155, used his quickness. And talking to Coach Crow, he said he's got a couple little guys in front he wants us to watch. That's Williamson and Burns. Neither are very big. Both of them are wrestlers, Matt. And he says they'll use a lot of wrestling moves inside a lot of time against the bigger offensive linemen. They look like Smurfs, but they're getting it done right now.
Plus, he loves their mentality. 3rd down and 4 from the 43. A quick pitch. Batten shifty move to the 40-yard line. I think he's 1 yard shy of the first down yard marker. Williamson again makes the stop.
It's going to be probably 4th and a foot and a half, Matt. But I like what Batten does here. They're going to run option. It's defended. Newell has quarterback. Look outside. It's forced in by Klein. You see, he'll come down, ride the fullback, kick it out. Batten makes a decision. Nice move on Kay Klein that time. Getting what's there, Matt. If he tries to go wide, that's going to be a 3-yard loss.
Great job on Williamson. He was knocked down initially, never gave up on the play. 4th and 1 now. Instead of trying to pin them deep, Mendon will go for the 4th down. They're 0 for 1 so far today.
They like the power in this situation.
9 men in the box. The handoff up the middle and a first down for Kyle Rice.
That's why John Schwartz is a good coach. He's come out in the formation with the power I set down on the goal line. They ran the power play twice, and then the quarterback keep off the power. That time they come out of the I. They just run a little fullback trap inside. They're going to give it to the first back right here. They're not going to give it to the tailback of the power. Just a little quick going away from the flow of the defense and the flow of where the backfield is heading.
Credit to the big offensive linemen, McQuaig, Klosterman, Frisbee, Friel, and Radke up front. They're getting the necessary yardage. Now Batten gets more than he needs. Stumbled back at the 35, and his leg was pinned underneath him. His right leg was pinned underneath him for a moment. And he's slow to get up.
That's one thing about those high school kids. Some of them are built like Gumby. You know, they're flexible. They don't have that development in their knees and so forth, and it allows for a little bit more flexibility. They're well conditioned, and we're going to see Batten here. His right leg is underneath him. He gets bent back.
See,
he's doing a hurdler stretch without being asked to that time.
I walk off holding the lower portion of my right leg, if that's me out there. Nimble limbs not. Batten now at the tailback position on a 2nd down and 7. Edinger with a keeper and some green carpet to work with. Cutting across the grain, stumbling past the 10. Andy Hall made the tackle with Jamil Elware. But Edinger, another big play, give him 24 in the red zone now.
Well, they've been running the counter tray. You're going to see right here, both guys, they're going to pull. Here it comes, right? He's giving it back. No, he tucks it. He gets outside. There's nothing there but daylight. Edinger, you know what? You can make yourself a lot better football player in the running game when you can ball fake. And he does a nice job hiding the ball, faking to his running backs, giving himself some open space to move.
Averaging better than 5 yards per carry. The 15th first down. Jared Dell breaks free, his 2nd touchdown of the day. A statement drive made by Mendon.
Yeah, they answered the bell that time. Decatur goes down the field. They set this play up with the keep. Last time Edinger pulls it on this play. This time he gives it to Dell. And what happens is the defensive end has to widen to respect Edinger on the keep. As he widens out, Dell runs right underneath it.
Now the extra point with Dell delivering the long snap, Edinger holding, and Batten kicking. Up and good. It is now a 21-14 ball game. Mendon rings the Dell again. His 2nd TD as the Hornets up by 7.
Are you one of the millions of
Mendon leading 21-14 with a shade under 5 minutes to go in the final quarter of the Division 7 state championship game here at the Pontiac Silverdome. John Schwartz's team going on top because of this Jared Dell touchdown.
Look at the blocking at the point of attack. Cook gets a nice block, and out on the far side, the receiver does a nice job, and that's Trevor Zinsmaster. And once again, not making the block. That could get you a penalty and take the touchdown back.
An impressive scoring drive for Mendon, who will now kick it away to the Raiders. Mendon has put up the most points against the Decatur defense all season long. The scoring drive for the Hornets, 8 plays, 64 yards in 4.5 minutes. Jared Dell reaching pay dirt for the 20th time this season on the ground.
Now, Coach Groh has to realize, I know he does, that he can't stay with his game plan with only 4.5 minutes left when he's going to start this drive. I don't think he's going to just run the ball down the field, Matt. He may have to throw.
Klein running the ball to the sidelines and stepping out of bounds at about the 35.
In the NFL, 4 minutes and 43 seconds is an eternity. In high school, it goes pretty quickly.
Sure does, especially when you're a team like Decatur who has to run the football. Well, following this showdown, and it's been a good one so far, we expect another solid matchup today at 1. Our coverage of the MHSAA Finals continues at 1 with the Division I title game featuring East Kentwood taking on Detroit Catholic Central. That's today at 1, only here on Fox Sports Net. Josh Nicholson gets the call as he spins his way for 5.
It's getting interesting, Matt. I'm wondering if, do we deserve another overtime game? Are we going to be that blessed that we can expect Decatur to come down the field and put this game in overtime? Right now, I think the Green Pants are going to have a lot to say about that.
Andy Hall caught down the sideline. Michael Northrup.
I almost feel like Andy Hall is an untapped resource as a throwing quarterback. He's throwing some nice balls this afternoon. Here, good vision, setting up good pickup block in the backfield by Nicholson, giving him time. Finds Northrup down the sidelines. Steps out of bounds. Right there, good penetration, and the official right on the spot. Looks like he has the best view in the stadium. So we're going to have to take his word for it.
If his foot isn't so wide, he picks up another 5. Hall rolling and pointing for a block. He'll keep it and pick up 3.
He had Adam Newell out in front of him. As he rolls out of the pocket, Andy Hall saying, block Dell, block Dell. And Dell saying, not going to block me. And he's able to fight off the block and still make the play. And that's where being an offensive player like Jared Dell, he sees that quarterback signaling to the guy who's trying to block him. He realized what he's telling him to do, and he's able to fend it off and knock him out of bounds. Right here as Hall rolls out, he's saying, okay, get him, get him. Jared Dell says, I don't think so. He's able to get over the top of the block, knock him out of bounds. Good job.
At the 41-yard line now of Mendon. The Raiders from Decatur on a 2nd down and 7. Sabo. Not a whole lot happening there.
Chris Downs, a 6-foot, 230-pound junior defensive end, does a nice job getting up the field, Matt, taking on the block at the point, the fullback's block, turning the play inside quickly, allowing the rest of the pursuit from the inside to clean up the mess.
This game has been anything but messy. It's been solid. 3rd down and 6. And a flag on the play usually indicates illegal motion.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty. Still.
Oh, that's a big penalty, man. Now from a 3rd and 5 where you really still have that run threat, put you in a 3rd and 10 situation, possibly screen. The only run you might see here is a draw. But look for trying to get Andy Hall out of the pocket, make something happen in a tiered passing. That's what Coach Groh likes to do, the 3-layer passing. It's good read. You get someone short, someone medium, and then someone maybe going to the corner or the takeoff route.
It's the 5th penalty against Decatur. Now Sabo turns it up quickly. Couldn't break free from Kyle Rice at the 40, though. Good tackle from his knees.
And he crossed me up as he almost crossed up the Mendon defense, looking probably also so some type of pass. He just runs a toss sweep. Sabo cuts up. Nice game. Picks up 6, and this is 4-down territory with under 3 minutes, the clock ticking. I guess, Matt, you call this key play, but
Absolutely. This is the ball game. This is the season. 4th and 5 from the Mendon 39. Pressure. Incomplete.
Well, you watch the middle of the screen, 57, Tim Frio is going to get pressure in Hall's face, forcing him to throw it before he's ready. Zinsmaster is there, knocks it away. Northup pretty disappointed. Let's see what the route is. Oh, look at the coverage. Doesn't bite on the move. Never turns the hips of Zinsmaster. He keeps him square. He's able to break on the ball. Two-part, Matt. Penetration, forcing the quick throw, and good coverage.
Third part, the defensive back also plays wide receiver on offense. He knows how to play that type of route. Dell knows what it's like to win championships, knows what it's like to get necessary yards as the clock continues to tick down. Big pickup there of about 4. 2nd down and 6 for the Hornets, who lead 21-14. Well, Joe Groh wanted to win this so badly for these kids because, as he told me earlier in the week, I've known these kids since kindergarten. His defense, just 3.3 points per game this year, but a season-high 21 points against Eric Ettinger and that high-powered Hornets offense today. Dell again stopped after he picked up another 2.
Now, when does he start using his remaining 2 timeouts here, Matt? He has 2 left. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 4 situation, and he's going to burn one of them right now.
With 1:44. Mendon needs 1 more first down to seal another state championship. It would be their 8th in school history. Their 7th under John Schwartz.
I think with the exception of Detroit St. Martin de Porres, hopefully I'm not wrong here, they think they have the highest winning percentage of teams that make it to the finals finishing the job. 8th championship this would be in their 9th appearance. De Porres, every time they've been to the Dome, has won the state championship. You're looking at me like you're going to take my...
And if they win this, they would be an impressive 8-1. Here's what's coming up at 1 o'clock. Catholic Central against East Kentwood. Strong matchup there. Division 5 a little bit later on. Montrose against Constantine. And then DeWitt and East Grand Rapids. Something has to give there in Division 3. Both clubs unbeaten on the year.
I can't wait. Oh, I get to call it straight T. I'm so excited.
After our games, once we're done at 1 o'clock with Catholic Central, I hurry home to watch the next 2 on TV.
I hurry out to get a bite to eat. I get back in here and I watch them up on the press area. Sometimes I sneak down on the floor a little bit, get the feel, the flavor.
And then if you miss anything, got it covered for you. On the Detroit Sports Report. 1:44 to go. 3 for 8 on 3rd downs. Ettinger on a keeper, and he seals it. Spinning, wanting more. To the 30, and dragged down at the 28-yard line.
You know, in the first half and in the 3rd quarter, I kept calling for Coach Schwartz to run the keep. He kept setting it up. He never used it. He just put it in his back pocket until he really needs it. The fake to Dell, everyone thinks on a 3rd, 4th, give it to the big back. Instead, he runs the keep, gets outside. He shows that, you know what, he's not the pretty face who can throw the ball. He's an athlete. He's got a little bit of legs in him. Look at him getting down the field, making something out of nothing.
21 yards. Same number on the scoreboard for Mendon. Ettinger has done it through the air. He's done it defensively for John Schwartz. The senior hoping to lead the Hornets to back-to-back titles. Along with Jared Dell. Makes a nifty move.
Too close to take a knee time.
A +12 for the Hornets, Jared Dell.
Eric Ettinger looking over at Coach Schwartz, asking him, do you want me to take a knee? I think Coach Groh right now, he still has 1 timeout remaining. Whether or not he will use that is yet to be seen.
Dell, 12 carries, 68 yards, 2 touchdowns. It is take a knee time for the Hornets. Under 40 seconds to go. John Schwartz
Look at Coach Joe Groh on the sideline clapping, and telling his team, you know what, guys, there's a lot of teams in our division are watching them at home right now, not having the opportunity to get here. They've had an outstanding season. And I like the fact that he's not using that last timeout. Sometimes coaches will do it to get in some seniors, Matt, but he's just letting it run. He knows it's been a war today, and he just fell short.
He said the turning point came earlier this year when they lost to Constantine, who will play for a state championship later today. They lost 22-21 because they fumbled late in the game on their own 10. They have bounced back and won another state championship, their 8th in school history.
You're awesome.
An extra long hug from John Schwartz to Jared Dell and to Eric Ettinger. Their senior leadership will be missed next year, but they have carried on a Mendon tradition with another state championship. The 8th in school history, the 7th for John Schwartz. The reaction and more when we return to the Dome in a moment.
You splish and splash. Splish and splash. Now your pasta's going down the drain, and your family's got hunger pains. Not anymore. Introducing Pasta Pro Cooker, the spill-free way to cook, drain, and serve perfect pasta. Pasta Pro is lightweight, fits any stovetop, and drains the water, not your pasta. Watch. Just place in your favorite pasta. When it's ready, turn the lid to the locking position. Then easily pour the water out and keep the pasta in. It's that easy. Now you can cook, drain, and serve mountains of spaghetti all in one saucepan. Quickly prepare tasty macaroni and cheese for the kids. Or create a delicious linguine with clam dinner with no extra dishes. Pasta Pro's unique locking lid assures you of a safe and steady pour. It's so dependable, not even a heavy sack of potatoes can remove the top. Hey, that strainer can ruin your ravioli. But not Pasta Pro. It's perfect for delicate cheese tortellini, stuffed spinach ravioli, or bow tie pasta. And watch this. Brown sirloin beef. Then easily drain the fat. Add your special ingredients, and you've got a pot of hot chili without the mess. Pasta Pro is ideal for boiling corn on the cob, fresh boiled lobster. You can even cook, drain, mix, and serve mashed potatoes all in one saucepan. And with a durable non-stick surface, clean up the breeze. Stop juggling with plates and strainers. Order the Pasta Pro Cooker with the quick and easy recipe guide for just $19.95. But wait, there's more. We'll include this amazing cheese grater. Coarse grate Parmesan cheese with ease. Shred mountains of mozzarella on a pizza. Or finely grate chocolate for dessert toppings. Yours free. And if you're still not convinced, we'll include another Pasta Pro Cooker free. Prepare eggs for egg salad sandwiches or pasta for two. Yours absolutely free. This incredible $60 value is all yours for just $19.95. So call now.
Call 1-800-479-9933 and order the Pasta Pro for just $19.95. This incredible offer won't last, so call 1-800-479-9933. Order now.
An outstanding season for both Mendon and Decatur and an outstanding Division 7 state championship. Now to the PA announcer, Joe Mitchell.
And now, Mr. Salter will present the Division 7 championship trophy to the Hornets of Mendon High School.
They're ready to deliver the state championship trophy to John Schwartz, who is used to holding this hardware high above his head and celebrating with the Mendon faithful. He says his arms never get too tired to hold up the most coveted trophy in the state of high school football. The Mendon Hornets, together as one again, finish off another championship season. 14 years at that school, and John Schwartz has won 7 titles. That's a title every other year. This one as special as any other. He was an assistant on the '82 title team and on the '83 runners-up club. Now, 8-1 in state championship history is Mendon. As Rob Rubik pointed out, not many schools can boast that type of winning percentage. Mickey York can boast the player of the game. Nick?
All right, Matt, thank you very much. Jared Dell here. Jared, you guys were able to hang 21 points on him. Nobody had done that all year against that defense. Why was your offense so successful today?
Our offense was successful today because we came out and we knew what we had to do. We've been doing pretty well on offense all year this year. We come out and make third down conversions, and we come out here and play hard.
You now have won three state titles in your 4 years. Is this one any sweeter because you're a senior?
This one, it don't get much sweeter. I mean, they're all sweet, but I'll tell you what, this one's nice.
Jared, great job. Go enjoy it with your team. Well, Matt, as you can tell by the celebration going on behind me, 8 is definitely great for the Mendon Hornets.
But it's never enough, is it? Jared Dell, as a 13-year-old, used to hit 320 feet homers. He knocked him out of the park at the Silverdome today, didn't he, Rob Rubik?
Oh, he did a great job. Starting things out early on. Nice touchdown run for Jared Dell. Showing that not just a linebacker, he can carry the load a little bit. As a lead blocker here, Ettinger is able to get outside with a 14-point and then finishing it off late in the game. And they needed to get another go-ahead touchdown. Jared Dell once again gets the call, and he delivers.
Hey, the thing is, we didn't even talk about what he did on the defensive side of the ball. The team picture will hang in the Mendon halls again. They are state champions. You can smile, John Schwartz. You've earned it.